Hey guys.
Hey guys.
It's time for another Doctor Who review. This time we're reviewing Doctor Who Series 9, Episode 6, titled The Woman Who Lived. If you haven't seen the episode and you want to avoid any spoilers, you're going to want to skip this video and come back later, because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler.
And this series, holy crap, it's been fantastic. Like, not a single dull episode. It's just been amazing.
We are at the halfway point of this series, and if it holds true to the way it has been so far, this could be, in my opinion, the best series of New Who.
Yes. It's just been absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So this episode was really interesting, and one of the things I noticed is last episode was The Girl Who Died. This episode is The Woman Who Lived. And of course, Amy Pond, she was the girl who waited.
Yes.
And Ishilda has waited 800 years.
Yeah.
So, suck it, Amy Pond.
What's great about Ishilda is, she was given immortality and she's lived for 800 years. And at the start of this episode, she seems like she doesn't care.
Yeah.
But it's actually she's convinced herself she doesn't care. And when Earth comes under attack, she realizes she does care. She's just been burying it. And I think it was like this moment that had to happen for her to realize that she actually cares what happens to this planet and to essentially become the human version of the Doctor.
Yeah.
Like, she cares about the planet. She will be here protecting it until she dies.
Yeah. And this episode was really interesting because Ishilda effectively acts as kind of a mirror for the Doctor. He sees a lot of himself in her, and I think that really scares him.
Yeah, which he kind of brings up when he says we can't travel together because we're too much the same, and if we travel together, we'll stop caring. We need these people to remind us why we care.
He calls them the Mayflies, and of course Mayflies' lifespan is very short. And to the Doctor and to Ishilda, the humans are Mayflies.
Yeah. So it was really, really interesting how they dealt with a human getting immortality. Just amazingly interesting.
What's also interesting is we get a look at what happens to people after the Doctor leaves. She calls him the man who runs away, and effectively he really is.
Yeah.
And we get, we assume just kind of that everybody lives happily ever after. But no, not all of them do.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've never really delved into before, and I thought that was really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And so now she's going to be the person who looks after the people the Doctor leaves.
Yes.
And we see at the very end of the episode, she's looking after Clara.
Yeah, and the Doctor hasn't left Clara yet, but he will. I mean, he can't travel with her forever. So, just seeing her in the back of that selfie was just it just hit, I don't know. It was just she is, in her own words, the patron saint of the Doctor.
Yeah, the Doctor's leftovers.
The Doctor's leftovers. She is there, waiting and watching Clara for when the Doctor leaves and Clara's world falls apart.
And what's also interesting is presumably Ishilda, or Lady Me, or whatever you want to call her, she's been watching over Clara for a while.
Yeah.
And Clara hasn't noticed her.
Yeah.
Given, the fact that she hasn't mentioned her or anything.
But Clara probably goes on so many adventures with the Doctor that she's probably forgotten most of these people because typically she doesn't need to remember them. Mm-hmm. They're from another world or they're from another time period. She doesn't need to remember them because she will never run across them in her lifetime. So even though she knows that Ishilda is immortal, it just didn't really sink in, and so she's not looking for her. She's probably doesn't even realize that she's there watching over her.
And does Ishilda ever just cross her mind at all? I mean, because
it's showing how much Clara is becoming the Doctor.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels going on. Like the Doctor, Ishilda is a mirror for him, but she's also kind of a reflection of Clara as well, or Clara is a reflection of her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really... There's a lot of different things going on in this episode and a lot of similarities between each character that I thought was really interesting.
One of the best parts of this episode for me was Ishilda keeps these journals, and the Doctor was reading the journals, and he said, "Why are their pages torn out?" And she said something to the effect of, "Some memories are too painful to keep." Mm-hmm. And he said, what's more painful than losing your children? And she said, I have to keep that in order to remind myself why I don't have children.
Yeah.
And like that was just so powerful.
Yeah.
I loved that scene. I was like, that is absolutely what an immortal woman would do.
Maisie Williams' performance in these episodes was absolutely amazing. Now we know for a fact that Jenna Louise Coleman is leaving the series, so that leads me to believe we might get to see a Shielder come back again. Because, of course, a Shielder is the patron saint of the Doctor's leftovers, and she's going to have to pick up the pieces when Clara leaves the Doctor, or when the Doctor leaves Clara.
Yeah. And that would be interesting, just to, if she's in every couple of episodes, like as an offshoot of the Doctor, where you see, Ashilda helping out those he's left behind. Like that would be a great companion story, like a long side story.
Side story.
Yes, that would be a nice side story to go along with the Doctor and his companion.
Or even if she's just in a little, like remember how the crack was for Matt Smith's first season as the Doctor. Every once in a while, the crack would show up. Maybe once in a while, a Shielder could show up.
Yeah. I definitely want to see more of her in the show. I think that it's an interesting bit. Also, I had like a little tiny minor scream moment because they mentioned Captain Jack Harkness, which I'm like, they haven't mentioned him in a while, so I'm kind of hoping that means we're gonna have a cameo.
That's a name we haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah, and it kind of, the way the Doctor was talking to Ashilda about him, it was like, oh, you'll meet him eventually.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for that to happen.
Another interesting thing is Ashilda, she's been there hanging around for 800 years, and the Doctor has made such an impact that she's been able to piece together his MO, his modus operandi, just from hearsay.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty much everything for this video. If we missed anything, if there's something you think we should have talked about that we didn't, let us know down in the comments and we can discuss it down there. Also, if you enjoyed this review, and we certainly hope you did, be sure to let us know by clicking the like button and subscribe for more reviews.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.